look at this. This is a total 6-inch beast. New from HGLRC comes the Wind 6. Finally, wasn't I just reviewing the Wind 5 like a couple weeks ago? And here's the 6 already. HGLRC is really working hard to bring you guys some really kick-ass quads. Working quite a bit harder in 2019 than last year. They just keep ramping it up. Them and iFlight working extremely hard for the releases. Now, one thing I gotta say about HGLRC, if you are new to FPV, you have to know this about this company. They don't do a whole bunch of releases like some of these other guys do to try to get the biggest snap up for the next batch of quads coming out of China. Their quads come out every so often, and it's not so much that they're a smaller company, it's because they research what they're doing and they flight test a lot of this stuff. So this was sent to me as a prototype. I'm one of the first people with this one, but it really did fly locked in. I tried 2 different types of props. I tried these GemFan props, and I tried some actual tri-props, 6-inch from Racecraft. They're pretty smooth until I slam dunked it. My first impressions for the line of sight coming up that you're going to see was very impressive, because I flew it up, did some flips, and I was having a little too much fun with my flips and rolls, and then I really smacked it into the ground. So I did a durability test. I did some GoPro footage for you, which you're going to see coming up, and I did some 360 video on this one as well. So if you don't have a 360 camera yet, pick one up, because you can kind of change perspective on your FPV flying. It's a lot of fun to do that, but especially on something like this, because this will have no problem carrying a GoPro or a 360 camera. 6-inch is kind of the next step up from 5-inch. If you're already flying a 5-inch, you're safe to buy a 6. I encourage people to buy a 6-inch, because if you've only flown up to a 5-inch before in quads, when you move up just an inch size on the propellers, it makes a huge difference. This flies a lot smoother, and it feels a lot bigger in the air than your typical 5-inch. You wouldn't really use this for racing, in my opinion, because it's just, I mean, look at this thing, it's massive. Super huge body, replaceable arms on here. But the cool thing about this one is it does have a flat top for your GoPro couch, and it only has 4 bolts on the very top, so you can get to your stack super easy. It has total camera protection around the front, and it is just a absolute beast. It also has shorter arms in the front, you'll notice. So it has that sort of drag racing stance that we've seen before. This one is going to handle the 6S, and I believe there's another version of this that handles 4S. So that one might be a little bit cheaper. Sometimes they end up being the same price. In my opinion, you should get the 6S one, because the 6S one should perform just a little bit better for you, and probably give you a little bit longer flight times. I was getting like 5-minute flight times with this quad, so I think you could also battery up in size if you want to try to push your range or your flight time. So you can experiment with that and let me know how it goes for you. But let's go outside now. Let's do a little bit of line of sight flying with this beast, and we'll do some FPV with the GoPro and the 360 cam. Let's get out there and do it. Here we go, guys.
So the Wind 6 has an FD F7 dual flight controller on here, and it is super smooth. If you've flown dual F7s before, you know it. 2408 1700 kV motor is giving us plenty of power. We have 4 bolts on the bottom and 6mm replaceable arms, which is nice. We have around a 267mm wheelbase on this baby, and this is a pretty beastie quad. The average wheelbase is around 220 for 5-inch. It comes with GemFan 6042 props, but you can also buy 6-inch bi-blade props from GemFan as well. Those are probably going to get you a little longer flight time. Aurora V2 1200 TVL camera is a micro size camera, and it is pretty small, and it has solid camera protection with the TPU mount that gives us nice side-by-side protection front and from the bottom. Check out the bottom plate right here. It's completely covered up in the bottom. You don't see that on a whole lot of quads, but also a larger battery strap to accommodate even the largest 6S batteries, which is nice. The hammer right-hand circular polarized antennas in the back, that's kind of a stubby, and we have thicker gauge wires in the back for 6S to handle high voltage, which is kind of nice. 4 bolts on the top plate, so easy access to the stack, and a flat top for your GoPro. And we have an FD F7 dual gyro. That's one of my favorites from HGLRC. I've been flying that one for about a year. 65 amp ESCs, total beast ESCs. Also, if you sneak in here in the back, you can see that MMCX connector there, running on that FD 400 milliwatt VTX with smart audio control. So you'll have plenty of range with 5.8. We also have 389 grams for the quad weight and around a 5-minute flight time, so that's not too bad. Specs are great on this quad. So let's go ahead and get it up in the air, and when you're flying dual F7, you can feel it's very locked in. If you fly line of sight at all, you can feel that it's very snappy, responsive. It has a nice pitch, roll, and yaw axis on it, and a great punch out. Really nice. Almost too nice there. Check that out. Durability test on the very first line of sight flight test, man. I did not expect to do that, but hey, you know, accidents happen, and I crashed too, so that was a really good one too. I smacked it down pretty hard. It sounded like a baseball bat cracking. Not so good, but
dude, I smacked it so hard. Holy crap, these props are probably toast. I thought it actually broke an arm just then. It sounded really violent when it hit the ground. Wow, it just tossed the battery off, completely off, but still in one piece. That's crazy. Holy crap. Alright guys, welcome back. How about that smackdown after the line of sight flight test? It sounded like a baseball bat breaking. It was a pretty hard hit, and I swear when I went to pick it up I thought I was going to see a broken arm, and I hadn't even flown FPV yet, so I was kind of concerned. But when I walked over, I moved the arms around. There's no flexing in the lamination on the top layers of the carbon, and the quad was completely fine when I picked it up. So I have to say 5 out of 5 stars for the durability factor, because that was a really hard, super hard line of sight slam down that I did. Components on here would be 5 out of 5. I think again this is one of those quads that has top shelf forward series flight controller ESCs and motors. The 2408 motors are really smooth in the air. They like the big straight ahead maneuvers, and I swear this quad will probably do over 100 miles an hour on a 6S battery. It's big enough that you can put your GoPro in here, do your big air freestyle or cinema type films with this quad. And I have to say the performance is probably going to be about a 4.7 out of 5. I would make it 5 stars, but I just want it to freestyle and be a little more agile maybe. But I could probably bring down or bring up the super rates to just make it more intense flying and corner quicker. But with the tune that they have on here, I think what they're trying to do is have it fly nice and smooth for your cinema type shots. So I think that's what they've achieved with this 6-inch. And I've been giving help to people on the forums for setting up 6 and 7-inch quads. Recently people were asking what motor sizes they should use as far as KV goes. I like the 2306s and the 2408s obviously, with a lower under 2000 kV. Don't do like 2400 kV on 6S because you're just going to be wasting the battery. The better setup for a longer flight time, because a lot of these quads are being used to send it, and what I mean by that is send it up the mountain with some crossfire and a GoPro. So if you want to send this quad, make sure that if you're building a 6 or a 7-inch, you do something like 1750 kV, which they chose here on this quad. So they chose the right motors on this quad. A little bigger than I would normally go. For a 6-inch, I might do like 2306 on here with that low kV. Say 1600 kV would be a good low kV for that. You're going to lose some of the power of the quad's capability as far as your punch out goes, but you're going to have a really smooth flying quad, and you're going to have a more durable quad for as far as your distance and your battery goes. So it's going to be your durability for distance. So that's going to be probably my choice there for your cinema rigs if you're going to send it. But my overall rating for this one definitely has to be pretty high mark. I'm going to say like probably I'm going to have to go out on a limb here and say 5 out of 5, because I think they have like a home run with this quad. I think it's a banger, and I think that if you spent the money on it, you would be happy buying this one. So I can give an easy, honest opinion on this one. I think it's a banger. If you bought it and you didn't like it, let me know, because there's nothing about this entire quad that I don't like. There might be one little thing though, and that one little thing would probably be this hammer stubby antenna on the back. So if you're using this quad to send it, you want to replace this with a tall Lumineer AXII that just came out. I've been testing those. I'll try to put some links for GetFpv's antennas down below, and that will just extend that antenna and get it away from all this RF down here and put your right hand circular polarized antenna way above the quad. So when you're way out there on those missions where you're sending it, you're going to get a much better signal back to your goggles. So a very nice antenna. So I have to say, a very, very nice quad for the money. I think it's a great value, and I really enjoyed flying this one. So thanks to HGLRC for sending this over for a review and a flight test, and I think they have an easy winner here for you guys. That's just my honest opinion on this quad. But thanks again for watching, you guys. If you want to support me on Patreon, be my friend there, that would be super awesome. I'll talk to you behind the scenes. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching my channel. I'm Justin Davis. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. The Wind 6. It's kick ass. See you later.